Well, Washington Senate Republicans now say they have a way to close the state's multi-billion-dollar budget gap without raising any new taxes. Murrow News fellow Albert James shows us what they say can be done to save billions of dollars and how it squares with ideas from the Democrats in control of the legislature and governor's office.
It's not a decision of all cuts or all taxes. There is a reasonable middle ground.
Republicans in the state Senate say they can increase funding for education and maintain social services without creating new sources of revenue. Instead, they're proposing nearly $14 billion in savings through funding tax credits using Climate Commitment Act dollars, closing funding gaps using surplus money from various accounts, and pausing expansions for state-supported childcare.
In effect, they passed a bill in 2021 or 2022. They put the bill on layaway. Well, the layaway period is over and the bill is due now. Rather than assume those additional costs, we simply forego those additional costs.
Senate Republican budget lead Chris Godon also proposed not funding around $4 billion in pay raises for state workers that were previously negotiated in collective bargaining agreements. Republicans want to give a $5,000 bonus instead, saying legislators have to decide between state employee pay increases or maintaining affordability for everyone.
This budget realizes that we simply cannot afford to do that without raising taxes this year. No matter which way you slice and dice the budget, it is not feasible.
Godon argues the budget shortfall is around $7 billion as opposed to a $15 billion figure floated by Governor Bob Ferguson last month. The senator argues the smaller deficit is based on maintaining today's levels of government services, not including program expansions and state worker pay increases. Even as the governor recommended budget cuts last month, Ferguson said it was a priority to fully fund those raises.
We must honor the collective bargaining agreements negotiated with those workers. That is a contract, and we're going to honor that.
In a statement, Senate Democratic budget writer June Robinson of Everett says while she appreciates Republican engagement, choices like going back on collective bargaining agreements are unsustainable. She says, quote, "A budget that shifts costs and relies on short-term fixes doesn't set us up for long-term success. That's why I am committed to a balanced approach, one that includes responsible reductions, but also the progressive revenue options needed to sustain core services." I reached out to the governor's office to get their reaction to the Republican proposal, but haven't heard back. Budget discussions could be greatly reshaped by an updated revenue forecast that will be presented next Tuesday. At the state capitol in Olympia, I'm Albert James reporting.